Hello, Flame Fatales. I am Nicole Goodnight, and I am running with Bath and Jan. We are running Golf It 100% first 5 maps. You got to get the ball into the hole. Is it the same hole that you're golfing at when you start the map? Maybe not. Who knows? Bath?
Yes, all of that is true. Hi, hello. My name is Bathenjan, and Nicole, as Nicole mentioned, there's many speed strats in this run. Before we start, I wanted to bring up the speed strat Nicole mentioned, where sometimes we are just getting from A to B as per usual in golf, but occasionally we'll be
As one
aiming
does.
for a hole that is not the current hole that we're at. That is legal in this run as long as you make it in one go. So there's no like waiting on another golf hole, so to speak. It'll make more sense when we get to it, but for now, that's my explanation,
Promise.
and hopefully that'll make sense when we get there. So I am ready to go when you are.
Here we go. So the first few maps are actually pretty. Oh no, are pretty
I
self-explanatory. They're pretty straightforward.
Started a little late there, but that's okay.
It's okay. So I want to say 1, 2, and 3 are straightforward. 4 is the first one where you have to bounce off a wall in a specific spot, and 5 is just kind of a pain.
Yeah. So these, like Nicole mentioned, will be pretty self-explanatory. We do have some strats that work better than others, but for the most part, it's, is what it is. Oh, well, I
And
fell a
there
little
are some
short
maps
there.
that you're going to hear us talk about things that may not make sense to the run. I promise you they're relevant in some way, shape, or form.
I would describe our Golf It runs as superstitious. And what I specifically mean by that is that we have certain holes with names, and we perform, I guess, a sort of superstitious ritual or bit.
Kind of like a ritual, yeah.
Yeah, and it's sort
That's
of
a good one.
It's sort of, in our hearts and minds, it sort of convinces us that we have the optimal RNG for the run, but honestly, once you start, you can't really stop.
Honestly, and this was the first example of shooting into a hole that wasn't the hole you're supposed to be in.
Yes, that's
That's
true.
why even though if we got it over, we reset, because if you don't get a hole in one on a different hole, it doesn't count.
Right. So the way that works is that when we load into a map, I'm just going to take this L. When we load into any given map, all of the holes are actually loaded in, and so that means that you can make the hole as long as you make it into any golf hole. Really, you're good. The thing is that not every golf hole is. We did actually, and that was very impressive.
Amazing.
And so that means that as long as you can make it into a given golf hole, that's valid. However, if it's not the current hole that you're on, so a good example is this is hole 8. If I'm aiming for a hole 7's hole, for example, I can't rest there. I have to make it all in one go. It won't allow you to kind of save your spot, so to speak, on that separate hole. So
we'll say like the green is considered out of bounds, but the hole is considered completely legal.
That is a really good way to put it. Absolutely. And so sometimes we're aiming for the hole that we're currently on, and that's a fastest strat. And sometimes it's the adjacent hole actually. And so you'll kind of see when we get there. It's pretty self-explanatory when we aim for a separate hole, because you'll see the rest of the hole and you're like, oh my goodness, it seems like a headache. And you're usually right where that's concerned.
Yeah, definitely. I would say the ones where you're aiming for the one that's not the hole they can be quite the pains, but.
They can be, yeah. Some speed strats are a little bit tedious, I would say. But once you kind of lock it down as a strat, it can be much faster than the original strat. So there is sometimes a bit of a trade-off.
A pain.
Right.
This should be good.
Nope,
not good.
Yeah, this one is a little bit tough.
That should be good.
Yeah, this one's fine.
So
Alrighty.
Evangelion is an anime about a boy who has a dad, but does he really have the dad? Because the dad doesn't really love him very much. So the dad kills the mother, makes a robot out of him so that Shinji's reminded constantly, daily, of his failures in life, and he has to pilot her because that's the most awkward thing that a father who hates his son can do. Anyways, that's the Evangelion hole.
So that is the Evangelion hole, and the way that hole works is it is a part of our superstition, as you heard earlier. And Nicole has actually never seen Evangelion, and so what she does every time we go to that hole is she describes to me what she believes the plot of what the plot of Evangelion is, or perhaps even should be. And that is the strat that we've been using for quite some time now, and it has yet to fail us, so to speak. So There's that.
It's a great strat, honestly.
It's a really good strat, unlike the
Really
one I
good.
took to get to the end of this one, but, you know, can't all be winners. There is that.
There's a couple different ways to do this hole. We're both going about it different ways. Works about the same.
You got awfully
Basically,
close
the cool
there.
thing about thank you.
Yeah, it
The
looks
cool
really
thing
good.
about duos is it doesn't really matter. Yeah, as long as you're getting in the hole close to the same time, it doesn't matter how you get there.
It's very true.
This is vertigo hole, and that was too far.
I think I'm good, maybe? No, I might have... Oh, I'm good.
No, you're good.
This one's a bit of a toss-up.
Yeah, this one can be really rough, but that was actually really, really good.
Yeah, I think we did really well.
Oh, I
nope.
did not.
Yeah, I didn't either. Oh, yeah, I
There
got
we go.
overzealous. I think this is good.
Sometimes you get
Yeah.
a little bit of overzealous going on there.
Oh, I get overzealous all the time in Golf It. I get
So
very excited to golf.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I also get very excited to golf. This one's also a little weird because what you're trying to do is jump, which you did beautifully, and I did suboptimally.
It's all good. This one can kind of get under your skin a bit if you're not prepared for it. Because the jump is a lot more gentle than you'd expect. So, you know, it's kind of difficult to... There you go.
There we
Perfect.
go.
It's difficult to ascertain how much beans, or I guess effort, you should put
Oh
into...
yeah, beans. So that's a
yeah.
really good thing to bring up about this run. So in most games like Golf It, or sorry, not Golf It, like Golf with your friends, you have a power meter. You'll notice that there is no power meter in Golf It because this game is hateful, hurtful, and very, very mean. Everything that you do, the aiming, the power, everything is based off of how hard you flick your wrist on the mouse, where you move the mouse, things like that. So it's pretty rough. This one is particularly, you know, this one's rough because it's got ice physics.
Yes.
So
So what
you'll
I
notice
think...
is
Sure, go ahead.
each new map kind of brings a new physic or new new
Mechanic.
new thing to the table. There's the right word. And in this situation, it's ice, and ice is really hard to deal with. It'll speed you up, and it's just all around obnoxious.
Right. So going back to Nicole's first point, I think the best way to describe it is that most golf games have a power... Oh, wow, I did fudge that one. That is something that I did
This one's
do.
really hard to do,
Yeah,
really easy.
that was a pretty good second stroke, though.
Kind of like get in your head about it.
It's true. Anyway, many golf games have a sort of power meter mechanic, as Nicole mentioned. So that means that you click once, and then you have like you know, it goes back and forth, and then you have this sort of window of time where you can hit the mouse button again, or whatever button you're using. You hit it again, and that's like the sort of the metric of power it's going to use to launch your ball in a given direction. Golf It is unique in that you are actually controlling the putter with your mouse. So instead of oh, that was good.
That's really
So
good.
instead of clicking and then doing like some sort of a power meter, we are actually swinging sometimes our whole arm, our wrist, just you know, finger, whatever it is. That it's all the putter is just controlled by the mouse. So the first click is determining the direction of where the ball is going to go, but then the rest is just kind of up to us, which is a very silly mechanic. It can also be quite difficult at times during this game because some of these hits are very precise, and so
Yeah, it's very inconsistent when you don't have a way of measuring how hard you're hitting things.
exactly, yeah. So that's why that's sort of the skill element of this game that we really enjoy. And so alongside with that, as also Nicole mentioned, each map has a specific sort of extra mechanic it adds. And as for the ice, as you can see, as expected with ice physics, it will slow it'll slow you down when you have momentum, and it will also, you know, well, yeah, that looks good. Yeah, it'll just I think is it the reduction of drag or the addition of drag? I can't remember what.
So it makes the ball go faster and farther, but the problem is you know, you want it to stop quickly if
Yes,
you're not getting
yeah.
directly in the hole, and the ice kind of super prohibits that.
So
This
some
was
holes.
a situation where we shot at a hole that wasn't the right one, so we had to get a hole in one, but it wasn't. That one's pretty consistent, honestly.
Definitely, yeah. And there are certain holes where we are leveraging the ice physics to our advantage. And there are some holes, right, exactly, where it like kind of carries us faster. And then there are some holes where we're trying to avoid it. And I think those are usually pretty obvious which ones they are, but it does add a bit of a extra challenge for us as speedrunners to make sure that we're leveraging everything each map has to offer, essentially. You just sort of
Yeah,
like
just wait until we get to the
problem-solving.
next ones.
Yeah,
Oh,
the next one is
buddy.
kind of tough as well, so there is that. Speaking of tough, oh, I did get it first try, the popover. Getting a little bit more consistent
Nice.
at that, yeah.
Yeah, this popover can be a little bit inconsistent.
Yeah.
Even if you are aiming at the right place. There it goes.
Yeah, it really comes down to the fact that you're controlling it. You're controlling the putter, so there's, I mean, essentially no consistency. We're trying to hone in on that consistency as much as possible, but nothing really is a guarantee, and that's kind of what makes it exciting for us, and hopefully
Yeah,
for
makes it
you
a
as a
fun
viewer.
run.
Yeah, definitely.
The element of surprise.
I don't know if I can
Is the
get.
same strat we've used every time going to work again? Maybe not.
There we go. This
But
one's
are
a
we
bit
still
difficult.
gonna try? Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, there you go. Bit late on that, but no worries.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's like with this hole, it's just getting there as quickly as possible. We just do the best we can.
Yeah, sometimes the standard strats are used, and that's not a bad thing.
Definitely
and sometimes
not.
the standard strats are better than the speed strats, just depending on which hole you're doing, you know, which way the wind is blowing in real life.
How you're feeling, what kind
your
of
thoughts,
lunch you
hopes,
ate.
dreams.
Yeah, what kind of
Like,
lunch
for
you
example,
ate.
this one's default strats
Oh.
are sometimes better than the speed strats because the speed strat can be a jerk, and I'm actually going to take default on this.
I actually, for some reason, got the speed strat today, which never ever happens to me. So, but just, I
Yeah,
guess
this
this
one
just,
is
it's a good
super
demonstration of
inconsistent.
how the speed strats sometimes differ from the regular strats.
There we go.
You got there very quickly, so definitely no problem there. All right, let's see. I did get stuck. That does happen to me at times. I hope I don't go back into this log here. That would not be... Okay, this is fine. Oh,
Yeah,
well.
log strats not ideal. Rim strats,
Not ideal to go
totally
back
fine.
into the log. Yeah, it's definitely not where we want
No,
to be.
you want to stay out of the log as far as possible.
Yeah, you just want to shoot through there in the beginning and then sort of move on. And, I'm not always capable of that. I'm not always skilled enough. Sometimes you have to, admit your shortcomings and go from there. Well, I thought I could bounce over, but
And the next hole is very much follow your heart, which is really fun.
if I could
There's not
only
a,
get
not
this
a really
hole.
great strat. This hole kind of sucks because you're trying
you
to
go.
not go too far. Sometimes you have to bounce in. Sometimes you can get in anyways.
It's a little bit more precise
no,
than,
it's
than you would think.
It's a lot more precise than you would think. On this one, you just follow your heart. That's really all you got to do. It's just
I followed my heart and
Yeah.
I did do very well. My heart didn't lead me astray. Oh, very good. Excellent.
Nice. I followed my heart. It led me astray once. It didn't lead me astray a second time.
Sometimes you just gotta make one mistake and then, you learn it and you
So
move
this
on.
map is Mines. Mines is fun in the sense that it is not fun. So think of the most fun thing in the world and then think of the complete opposite of that. That is Mines. Mines adds the mechanic of speed up arrows and also mine cards. Mine cards aren't a mechanic, you might say. Well, I do beg to differ. They are kind of the worst, as are these stupid arrows.
Yeah, the arrows, the speed arrows are a bit to deal with, and also, oh wow, I don't know why my recording just, okay. So whenever I click out of the game for any reason, my recording just stops, or
Did
it won't capture the
Are
game.
we?
We
it's fine.
are indeed we are. I might have actually. I don't think I gave that enough beans for one. I don't think that's ever happened before on this hole. But it
This
wouldn't
one is
be.
also a little inconsistent.
It's very inconsistent. And, it wouldn't be a Golf It run if something unexpected didn't happen at some point. Some sort of
Oh, for
maybe
sure.
esports type moment or something, a complete game-ending bug.
And there's plenty of esports moments in this game.
Oh, definitely. Prepare to be impressed. Perhaps, maybe,
Yeah, prepare to be
hopefully.
incredibly impressed.
Oh, I did
definitely.
do the well, lots of firsts today. And by firsts, I mean mistakes I used to make when I was first speedrunning and thought I didn't anymore. But, sometimes you got to go back to the start. You remember
Gotta go
where
back
you
to your
came from.
roots.
Yeah, go back to your roots,
Yeah.
essentially.
So we both actually do this completely different ways. And each one works still.
Each one works in a way.
In a way, which is, our way.
our
Or the
way
highway.
or the highway, which are still two different viable ways. The highway is a way that you can take to a destination. So we invite you to take whatever works for you in your commute
Whichever
specifically.
highway works for you. Do not, sir, do not.
Looks like you might.
Oh.
Yeah, looks like maybe that he wasn't listening.
A lot of the game too is just begging the ball to, not.
Yeah, we do address the ball. We do tell it to go a certain way. It tends not to listen, I would say, more often than not.
Yeah, it does tend not to listen.
But bargaining with the ball is a strat that we use. And, occasionally it comes through. I'd say the ball is more stubborn than it is relenting. But it is certainly a strat that we could employ. So, we don't really keep anything off the table. I always end up here, and I think it's because I am actually not good at this game. I think that maybe that's not a well-known fact, but as a speedrunner, I'm actually really not that good at this game. So
I usually just give it a lot of beans and go just to the right, and it's okay.
yeah, I think I need to.
This one is rough.
Yeah.
Because you need to give it enough beans, but not too many beans.
I think perhaps I should just take notes from you from now on so that I can learn to be good at this game.
No, I think it's just a bean discrepancy.
It definitely does seem like a bean discrepancy most times, and
Remember
I
when
can
this
definitely.
hole was awful, and now it's not.
It's one of those holes. There's many holes in this run where if you don't think about it and you just sort of hit it in the way that you've always hit it, it's fine. But the second you overthink it, it just goes. It's a disaster, and it's very weird how psychological this game can get sometimes.
It's incredibly. It's like psychological horror, but it's golf.
Right. It's as if psychological horror was golf. That being said, you can really get under your own skin, and it's bizarre.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
You can overthink it. This is gonna be
the first instance of a golf cart mechanic.
This is true. You're in for a treat. Ooh, very close.
Yeah, I thought, give it a try, Nicole. And
I thought that,
and it didn't work.
Well. Oh.
Heck.
I for some reason got that.
Nice.
I did for some reason. It's usually me. Yeah.
It's not uncommon for this hole to take a couple strokes to get in. That's actually really good.
That was actually a really good hole for us. Go ahead.
This one is so Zeppelins are land mammals. Some think that they're aircrafts. They're not. Yeah, a lot of people accidentally call them elephants, which is really weird.
That's very
they're
bizarre.
They're actually called Zeppelins. Yeah, they're the great tool. They do fly. They don't like to show that they fly though. There's only 25 of them in the world.
Okay.
And, they're wonderful and perfect in every single way.
So you might be asking yourself, what is Nicole going on about? And I will explain it to you, even though I'm doing a very poor job. Okay, here we go. So this is the Zeppelin hole. And for reasons that we won't explain, when you talk about Zeppelins, you do better. On the whole.
Yeah. What are those reasons that we're not going to explain? We don't actually.
We're actually not at liberty to say. They are trade secrets of the run, professionally sort of airtight, hermetically sealed, for official use only, so to speak.
Definitely.
But we will tell you that it does work every time. It may not work very well, but it does work. And so
there we go.
This one's tough. Due to a heavy amount of confirmation bias, we do sort of.
Son of a biscuit.
Yeah. You're hitting in the right spot. It's just really it's the bean discrepancy once again.
It's the bean discrepancy.
It really is.
Or the BD, as it were.
The BD is a great way to not enunciate. What's the word I'm looking for? It's a great way to shorten up the expression.
The bean discrepancy.
Make it into abbreviation, if you will. I'm good at words. I don't know if you know this, but I'm very good at words.
You're very good at words.
Yeah, I'm something of an expert, I would say, sort of self-proclaimed.
I would say that too.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm sure you would say that as my friend, and I appreciate that.
I would say that, and you know what? And as an enemy, if I were an enemy, I would still say that.
I could see that definitely. This hole is wild. We do use whether or not it's effective, we'll see. But we do, for the speed strat, we employ the geometry of the hole right in front of us. I don't know if I can maybe get this.
Sometimes
no.
I just went down. So sometimes you can get onto the platform below you, not 2 platforms below you. But that's okay, because there's still a way to get down here.
I think this is...
I do like a little backup strat sometimes.
I'm trying to demonstrate the speed strat, and I am, as they say, digging us digging myself farther into the hole. There we go. Yeah, so essentially we leverage the geometry of the hole to hit it at a certain angle and bean percentage to launch over to the end. And it normally saves time. Normally. Speaking of which, I almost got a hole in one. And you indeed got a hole in one, so...
Let's go. So this hole is really a pain in the butt because that minecart, it's moving. Your ball, also moving. At the same rate, absolutely not.
Yeah, also, it does tend to desync. Well, that would have been viable, I would say. I wanted to be really impressive. I wanted the viewers to be very impressed with me. I wanted them to be like, wow, not only did Nicole get the hole-in-one, but Bath and Jan also got the hole-in-one, and I'm very impressed. Instead, what happened was I made myself to be a complete fool.
What you're doing is you're showing the secondary strat, which is going from here.
That's exactly what I meant. Everything that you heard earlier was a gaffe, a goof, if you will. And it was completely meant to mislead you into thinking that I was not confident in my ability. In fact, I am, so much so that I meant to have it demonstrate the secondary method. And you're welcome for all of that.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for showing that to me.
Yeah, you're absolutely welcome.
On Broadway.
This is Cats on Broadway.
You'll see why it's called that in a little bit. Its real name is Graveyard. But like I said, Cats on Broadway is going to make sense in near the end of the run, which is,
Exactly.
The first hole, strangely enough, is one of the hardest.
One of the worst ones. We detest it. It's for some reason just it looks simple, but I promise you it is just its own little nightmare. Yeah. I am just well, this'll work. Yeah, that'll work.
Beth, you are an amazing speedrunner, and your Galaxy Range strats leave me in awe of your prowess.
I thank you for that. And all of the things that I do in this game are meant to wow and amaze. Oh, okay, there we go.
Oh, wow. Wow, amaze.
Wow, amaze. Aren't you wow and amaze right now?
I am. Oh, this is the friendship hole. GDQ, it's called this because no matter what happens at the end of this hole, we will still be friends.
That's very true. It's really important during your speedrun, especially a co-op speedrun, I would say, to think about how much your friend means to you and how much it means to each other that we're both spending hours grinding in a game like Golf It. And you know what that means about our friendship. And I can definitely attest to, okay, well, Pachinko just is...
Yeah, Pachinko is the worst.
It is the worst.
It is one of the only RNG holes, I would say.
It's one of the few, and it's definitely, we feel a certain type of way about it.
Yeah, it's not good. Just spoiler alert, it isn't a good type of way.
It's not good, but we did do very well on it, so I am happy about how that went.
Well about it.
I did get a skull touch, but that's okay, not a problem.
Skulls are a little weird because sometimes they have collision and sometimes they don't, and really it just depends on the weather, what type of day it is.
How they're feeling. Yeah. This was a very good hole 7. This is another RNG hole, and we ended up getting it very quickly. We did. And I'm very impressed with us. Normally that hole is the bane of our existence, and today it was quite good. So very happy about that.
Yeah, that hole is definitely a little bit of a pain sometimes. The key to this hole is half a can of beans and bacon, and that's how we get through that one.
That is how we get through of that one. Sometimes we're hungry, and okay. Well, it's not the most ideal lineup.
Sometimes you get a hole in one, and sometimes you get a hole in one, and you wonder how, what, where, when, why.
Yeah, you wonder those things, and oftentimes the question is never answered, which is okay. Not every question in life is answered, and when it comes to Golf It, I find that it is a good analogy of life. Lots of unexpected things happen, and you just adjust, and at the end of the day, you think about your friends, and you're like, gosh, at the end of the day, I'm having a good time with my friends playing golf together in this cursed game. And that's
absolutely cursed game.
It's good to have your priorities straight.
You can go in any of these cauldrons. You just follow your heart. But you're not actually following your heart because you have absolutely no control over your heart.
Your heart is a runaway runaway truck
train never coming back.
Yeah, I don't know.
Runaway on a one-way track. It feels like you should be getting somewhere. And then there's more words that I am completely unable to repeat because I don't remember what they are.
Those are song lyrics that I have no idea what they are. But I believe you. I believe every word of them.
Thank
I would never
you.
question you. Or
Yeah,
your
I would
ability
never
to
let you know.
song. Yeah, if you could let me know, that'd be great. I would never question your
Definitely let you know.
I would never question your ability to recite song lyrics or your ability to let me know. As your friend,
Thank you.
it is my duty to
That's actually a
wholeheartedly
really
believe
good
and
whole
follow you.
12.
It was a very good whole 12. Okay, this one is turn around, but not bright eyes. Because that
Yeah,
would
no,
take
it is
you
total eclipse, but not of the heart.
exactly, because then you would go too far and that, you'd miss the hole entirely. So there's that.
This
This
is another
hole,
case of follow your heart. This one is awful.
yeah, this hole tends to be pretty bad. I will take this L currently.
I will take this as well.
This L is probably doable from here. Yeah, absolutely it is. And there we go. So, not too bad of a hole 14, though it could definitely be
Actually,
worse.
I really like this hole.
This hole's
I
pretty
feel like
good.
This is a lot like hole 2 on Robert Frost.
I agree.
There's
It is
just
sort of
like
a gentle
easy,
slope. Yeah.
gentle slopies.
Mm-hmm. This hole is a bit
This
of a
hole's
pain.
kind of rough.
Yeah, it can be.
You gotta get up on this,
Oh,
and you
man,
gotta try not to
just
bounce
skipped
out
it.
of it. That should be good.
Okay, well, I did. Those skulls decided to have collision right there, so I might take a bit to
Sometimes
catch
they
up.
decide to have collision, and sometimes they don't. It's really hard to say what they're going to decide on any given day.
Yeah,
We're
and
gonna
usually
go
it's
with
gonna
it.
be the worst choice. Cats on Broadway,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Oh, so Cats on Broadway. So picture your favorite Broadway musical, but instead of being performed by people, they're being performed by cats.
Right.
And these little cats are on Broadway. They're in little outfits. They're in little outfits.
So what Nicole was doing there is that is the whole sort of the name of this map. It's the name of the game, so to speak. So on that hole, we do make up a scenario where cats are on Broadway. The scenario is different each time, but the whole idea of the whole is that while we are thinking up the scenario, we're sort of helping ourselves get over the difficulty of the whole. We did quite well there. So it's
That's a
because
really
Cats
good
on
hole,
Broadway
yeah.
is such a good strat for us that it works so.
Cats on Broadway is an incredible strat.
It's bulletproof, I would say. It helps
would
us
say
every
that as
time.
well.
Yeah. It helps our improv as well. Which doesn't hurt. All right, and now we're on to the final map of the run. It's certainly not the easiest, but it is,
Egg just scared the heck out of me. She opened my door.
oh my goodness. Well, I think your cat endeavors to give you a hard time.
Honestly, probably.
And so yeah, this whole or this map rather is has a lot of interesting speed strats. I think the most interesting aspect of this map are the cannons.
Yep,
Oftentimes-
that's what this one adds in.
For sure. And oftentimes we are leveraging the cannon firing in a specific position or weird position to go to areas we're probably not supposed to be in. That's a fun part of this map. So it's a fun speed strat.
I think almost every map has an oh, Aaron Yeager does smell bad. I think almost every map has an aspect of going to a hole that you're not supposed to go into.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I don't know. Do we do that on? Yeah, we do it on Cats on Broadway, I think. Regardless,
Yes, we do.
It happens a lot on this map.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm not sure if Cats on Broadway has... Does it? I'm actually not sure about Cats on Broadway. I think all of those are... Now that I think about it, I'm gonna have to double check. Cats on Broadway might be...
It might
Yeah.
be the one.
Might be the one. Yep. But
There's a
yeah.
couple different ways to do this one, but the one we found that's most consistent is going here.
Well, you say that, and then I do occasionally, from time to time, fudge
It
it.
is rough because there's a
you
couple different places you can hit on there.
Yeah.
I guess hole 18 is a secret hole on Cats on Broadway.
It is a secret hole, but it's still the intended
It's
hole.
still the intended hole.
Yeah, it's not a different one by any means. I can't, now that I'm thinking in retrospect, I can't think of, why am I, okay, I feel like I'm not
This one
aiming.
can be a little rough sometimes.
I feel like I'm, see, and then that one just went over there. Yeah, I have a lot of trouble with this hole.
This one can be a rough one. This is one where sometimes I'll take the default because it is garbage. But when you get over here, it feels
There
real
you
good.
go.
Yeah, see, like that feels real good.
Yeah, I do need to practice this. It's sort of, now sort of hitting me while I'm doing the speed run that I need to practice this more.
Yeah, this last map can be a little bit of a pain. I think this is definitely one of the tougher ones, other than Cats on Broadway. Or sorry,
I would.
other than Mines. Cats on Broadway is fine.
Cats on Broadway is not too bad. Mines is definitely difficult for sure. Okay, well, I just need to get. There we go. Just need to get a grip. Good grip on my putter. That's what I meant by that. Yeah. So. Let's see.
This is another one where we're going for a hole that isn't the one we're supposed to be in.
Yeah. It goes a little bit fast, except for when I fudge it, which is intentional because I want to show you the process. There you go.
Yep, so if you don't get it in that hole right away, you will get sent back to the beginning, which is really frustrating on this hole.
Yeah. Oh, well. I'm just showing how all sorts of I'm showing all sorts of ways that the run could end in a way that you didn't expect. And you're welcome. Just for you. Sort of sneak peek.
This hole's not fun.
It is what it is. Let's see. How about that? There you go. That looks good. Yeah, this one involves bouncing over most of the map, which doesn't always. I mean, it's kind of a little bit of a tight squeeze there. So
it's still faster than the intended strat for sure.
Looks like we both got first cycle, so it's good.
Yep. Oh, and hole-in-ones.
There you go. That one's pretty fun when you get that one. It feels very good. All right, this is good.
So this hole, you want to try to get into that cannon as quickly as possible, and then get over here as quickly as possible. Sometimes people aim. I think Bath aims. I just kind of follow my heart and hope.
Yeah. I think either way, we get there pretty consistently. Oh, did you get water? Nice.
I did get water.
I think I will maybe try to do that as well if I can. That is just short of water strats. Let's see.
So we're going water strats because if you don't... Oh, that looks good.
That looks good.
Yeah,
there you go.
There's a chance to get in that hole, which will send you back to the beginning. So
yes.
Water strats, when you bounce in, you'll never go too far, which is great. It's just a matter of getting it correctly with the right amount of beans, which, again, can be very, very finicky.
Yeah, it is a bit of a trade-off because that hole is a rather precise hole in general, but one strat is riskier than the other. So it just sort of depends on how the first set of strokes will go, kind of what your first inclination will be, and then I usually just adjust from there depending on, how feral I am on the golf club, so to speak, for the day.
Now this is the same hole, so we do not need to get a hole-in-one, but it is way quicker to turn around after the hump and go behind than it is to actually go that full way around.
It's very true. We find that to be much faster and more consistent. Okay, let me see if I can get this. That looks a little bit... Oh, hello? Let's see. There you go. Maybe that may be a little bit too... Yeah, that's a little bit too much beans.
Too many beans.
All right, this one looks good. Oh, well, I said that, but actually I meant this one looked good. That's what I actually meant. Okay, coming up to the last hole here. Hole 18 of Pirates Cove. And it is a doozy. It requires a fair amount of precision and placement. Oh, got it. All right, cool.
Same.
I like to bounce off the barrel. Sometimes that does get me into a bit of trouble as it bounces over and then causes me to go back to the beginning. It ended up being okay today.
Which is what happened to me.
Yeah, that does tend to happen, but it's all for the sake of I guess practice.
So yeah, that can happen a lot, which is really annoying.
Yeah, definitely. There you go.
And it can happen again.
Yeah, I find that this map is this one can be pretty inconsistent. There you go.
There we go. And that's Golf It.
That is Golf It.
100%. And yeah.
I think it went very well. Any parting thoughts?
Absolutely. Golf is like life.
Mm-hmm.
You never know how many beans you need, and you never know if you're actually going to go your course the right way.
Sure, you're never going to know if you're going to take the path less traveled. You never know if you're going to take the intended path. You never know if you're going to see some cats perform your favorite musical on Broadway or just regular people. when you get a ticket named Cats on Broadway, and you think maybe the cats are going to be on Broadway in little costumes, and you think, oh my gosh, it's going to be so cute, and then it's actually people, and you're disappointed. I do think that that's sort of a metaphor for life, and that sometimes you just have to roll with it. Sometimes there's not little cats performing your favorite musical on Broadway, and that's okay.
It's okay but true.
It's unfortunate, but it's okay, and you get through it together with the power of friendship, and that's just what this co-op run is all about. So
It's all about it.
yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate it, and
Thank you.
hope you have a wonderful day.
Goodbye.